What's the deal? What's the deal, man? Politikan the Podcast. We back again here at Riverside Studios, man. Google us, man. Riverside Studios, located in Riverside, California, man. Film studio, event center, man. We got it popping, man. We got to have a lot of things coming up, man, to keep y'all entertained because everybody know we back outside, man, and we getting to it, man. So I'm finna bring in the homies, finna chop it up about these NBA playoffs. And what the fuck been going on? What's the deal, fools?
What up?
Goody, what's good?
Man. So, how y'all feel about this NBA playoffs, man? The damn Clippers finally evening up the series, man. You know, Milwaukee taking care of the Heat like they did. You got the who else? You know, you got that New York jersey on, but they about to lose. Did they lose today? Actually,
We lost. Keep going.
You know what I'm saying? So they had a good run, New York, you know, back making it into the playoffs. That was enough, man. But what do y'all think about this Lakers shit, though, man? We got to get straight to these Lakers. The Lakers was getting blew out, man. Without Anthony Davis, man, the Lakers look like complete trash. They're pathetic, man. And we told them that this was going to be the case, and no Laker fan was like, no, we're going to get healthier as the playoffs go on. And by the time we hit the playoffs, the Clippers tanked to get away from us, and they should have got us early because we're going to be at full strength. And now all that shit is dead, man. What y'all niggas' thoughts on this Laker bullshit?
Man, first of all, I've been telling people, this is the case where people, these aren't Laker fans. These are LeBron fans that turn Lakers. They're not realistic. These aren't Laker fans. All these people that I've been saying LeBron can carry any team to the finals, put them out there with the janitors, put them out there with anybody, he getting them to the finals. I keep telling y'all, it's different on the Western Conference. It's a different ball game. Now, this series is not over. Let's not say it's over, because if AD can get back to at least 85% on the floor, which I don't believe he will. That groin injury is major, but if he can, they got a chance to win the series. But it's looking like LeBron is going out in the first round and not making the playoffs, winning a bubble championship. Everybody don't realize the bubble championship is a bubble championship because there's no travel. Recovery time is faster. You don't got to get off of airplanes. You don't got to go in and out of hotels. You're going right to your room. That's a huge difference, and everybody keep downplaying that. AD is fragile. LeBron is old. Of course, if they're playing in the regular NBA season, it wouldn't have been easy as the bubble championship. LeBron James is now facing the Phoenix Sun team, who is not extremely talented. Chris Paul is 38. Devin Booker has never played in the playoffs before. And DeAndre Ayton is a rookie center. So it's not like he's playing against a team that's stacked or got an incredible amount of talent. It's the fact that LeBron ain't who y'all say he is. All right? Y'all need to stop painting these false-ass narratives on what he is and he's this. And no, he can't carry any team to the finals. It's been proven on the West Coast. He came to the West and got snatched up. He didn't make the playoffs first year. Y'all want to make all these injury excuses about LeBron being hurt, but when other teams are hurt, it don't matter. Like when Miami had Dragic and Bam hurt in the finals, that didn't matter. The Lakers still won. But when LeBron get hurt or AD get hurt, it's these excuses. There's no excuses. LeBron James should be able to beat the Phoenix Suns without Anthony Davis, but he can't. You know why? Because he's not the best player in the league anymore. Father time is kicked in. He's averaging 22 points a game in the playoffs, his lowest ever in his career. He's not the same LeBron. I don't think he's about to come out and put up 50 in game 6, and that's not fucking happening, all right? Anthony Davis is the best player on that team. The Lakers wouldn't have been shit without Anthony Davis, and it's proven right now because they're getting their ass whooped by the Phoenix Suns, who ain't even that good. So, yeah, I'm talking big shit. Lakers ain't winning a championship this year. Even if they make it past the series, they're not winning a championship. And LeBron James is not who the fuck y'all say he is, period.
First and foremost, before I talk about any sports and any team, let me give a shout out to my boy Derrick Rose. Because my boy Derrick Rose has been doing a lot better than the Laker Nation. Now, my team got eliminated today, but people, even on this panel, said Derrick Rose is done. He washed up. He can't do nothing no more. What Ronnie just said is LeBron James is averaging how many points per game on the Lakers? You know that many points per game, 22? Derrick Rose, until today, his average is 24.5, 50% from the three-point line, and 50% from the field. So, put some respect on my boy Derrick Rose. Put some respect on him. Now, going back to these Lakers. Let's go back to these Lakers. Bubble championship, you won it. Now you have to compete. Now y'all would say it's because of injury, when it's not really because of injury, because you were struggling with the Phoenix Suns before Anthony Davis got injured. Let's get that clear. You lost last game. Let's blame it on Anthony Davis injury. You lost before that. You're struggling with the Suns. You're about to get eliminated by the Suns. Y'all been struggling. See, my boy D Rose, the Knicks weren't even supposed to be in the playoffs, so us getting bounced in the first round, it don't really mean anything. Y'all getting bounced in the first round, that means everything. Because y'all were supposed to win a championship. I'm just saying. Now, on the last note, if LeBron James gets bounced in the first round against the Phoenix Suns, no one can ever call him the GOAT. You lost to Dallas, and you got bounced in the first round.
I agree 100%. The GOAT talk will be ended, man. If you get bounced out in the first round, you came to the West, like Ronnie said, the first year, you didn't make the playoffs. You traded away the whole team. You went to the bubble and you won a bubble championship. And now this whole year you ain't been been healthy. You over here making excuses before you even got here talking about, I will never be the same again. I already knew what this nigga was doing. I was waiting for this performance that he put up the other day. He said that shit 3 weeks ago so that he could perform like that and nobody say shit. But your reputation is ruined, man. You shouldn't have came to the West. Now you came over here and you got that bubble championship, but you ruined your own legacy, man, getting bounced. You could have been with the Cleveland Cavaliers, getting bounced in the second, third round the rest of your career, and niggas would have still argued that you was the GOAT. But the fact that you came over here, didn't make the playoffs, and now you're getting bounced in the first round, and you'll never be considered the greatest player in the league again after this, going forward, especially the way that Brooklyn is playing right now. Or Milwaukee with Giannis winning back-to-back, you know what I'm saying, MVPs, and the way he's playing right now, man. LeBron could never be looked at as the greatest player going forward. He's just another nigga. We never thought that we would see today that LeBron is just another nigga. But the other day we saw that today in this league, LeBron is just another nigga. But back to this Brooklyn, man. So now, second round, we got Brooklyn versus Milwaukee. Milwaukee made quick work of Miami, man. Looked dominant. Drew Holiday looked like the piece that they was missing this whole time. PJ Tucker looks like the best mid-season acquisition of any team this year, the way what he's doing over there. So with Brooklyn only playing, what is it, like 7.5, 8 games before the playoffs together with the big three, do you feel like Milwaukee got the upper hand, or is Brooklyn just too talented?
Man, this is okay. First, once again, let's go back to the bubble. Miami, them bouncing Miami like that wasn't shit. I expected that because Miami only went that far because they were in a bubble. Miami was not about to beat nobody like that. They weren't going to go to Milwaukee and win 2 games like they did last year. Milwaukee has probably the best top 3 home court advantage in the league. So the bubble, once again, made Miami look like something they're not. So Milwaukee, as far as them, I will never, ever, ever I'm not ready to say that they're going to do shit significant against anybody good because Giannis can't shoot. It's easy to defend him. Drew Holiday, I love him. He's a local. I used to work with his pops. Shout out to Drew Holiday, Sean Holiday. But Giannis can't shoot, so it's easy to defend him and to corral him during the game because they take what Toronto did, put up that big wall and force him to shoot outside long threes. And unfortunately, he ain't got that. Yes, he's hit some this year in some games, and everyone gets hot. But consistently, by the numbers, the man can't shoot to save his fucking life. So, do I depend on Giannis being able to take on Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Blake Griffin? Hell no. Brooklyn in 5, maybe 6, as Brooklyn cruises to the NBA Finals.
I think this may go 7. And I think Brooklyn's going to pull it out in 7. Because Giannis can't shoot. I only think that this will go 7 if, as weird as it sounds, Brook Lopez shows up. And why I say Brook Lopez needs to show up is because the only weakness I see on the Nets is they don't really got a center. And Blake Griffin's trash. So they don't really got anything like that. And, you know, I'm only saying that because Brooklyn may give up a couple games only because they gave up a game to Boston. And I think they just gave them the game. But I don't see Giannis has to have a good shooting. If you don't have a good shooting, you're a done deal. And if your shooters aren't on point to Giannis, you're a done deal. And the only way you can beat them is in that center position. And I don't even know if DeAndre Jordan is going to be back. But
so when you talk about the center, they have been starting KD at center. So KD's been playing the 5, Blake Griffin at the 4, Joe Harris at the 3, Kyrie at the 2, and Harden at the point. So,
you can do that against Boston.
So when you speak of that, Brooklyn has been starting KD at the 5. And even with Brook Lopez, I know he's not a traditional 5, but Brook Lopez against KD, man, that's easy money, man. I see Brooklyn winning, like Ronnie said, running away with this in 5, 6 at the most. It's going to be a mismatch. You're going tall in power versus skill and finesse. And they just scored too much. And it's not like Brooklyn relies on 3-pointers like Steph Curry and them did. Fucking James Harden's the only one that does the hits that step back. But for the most part, Kyrie, he's getting to the rim. He's putting you on that low post, that high post. Durant, and he's rising up from anywhere with them middies. He's midi-litty. So it's not like they're relying on a bunch of 3-point scoring. And then when you got like Joe Smith, Joe Harris killing those threes, I just see Brooklyn being way too talented for Milwaukee. But
I will say though,
go ahead.
This series is the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes, it is.
It's the Eastern Conference Finals with Embiid having a meniscus tear. Sorry, Philly.
Wait. Embiid's meniscus tear, did they give a length of time he was out?
They're trying to say right now they're saying it's day to day.
No, it can be with meniscus tears. I've seen Ron Artest come back off of meniscus tear in like 3 days. Embiid's a big man, so it's going to be more difficult for him to do that. But if that's the case, yeah, Philly, I don't think they was going to beat Brooklyn anyway. But Embiid is definitely their best chance to beat Brooklyn. And if he's not healthy, then yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
That is true. This is like the Eastern Conference Finals. I do agree with you, y'all. This is like the Lakers Clipper matchup that we wanted last year that we never got because we fucking flunked out of the fucking man. Clippers really made me mad last year, man. They started to make me mad this year. But then we got our shit together, and now we in control, man. So back again. It's probably the third time I brought this up. But once again, Clippers are now, once again for the third time, the betting favorites to win the Western Conference. So once again, all bets are on the LA Clippers to come out of the Western Conference, especially the way that the Lakers have been faulted. What's your thoughts on everybody back on the Clipper bandwagon after what we did in Dallas?
Well, I think what happened to the Clippers last year, obviously there was a lack of togetherness. You know, it was a lot of the personal things that were going on in the locker room, rumors and stuff like that. And then a lot of people felt Paul George wasn't a star. Lou Williams felt he was better than him, as it's been reported. Montrezl Harrell felt the same. So it was a bunch of problems last year. Last year it was messed up. It was, but I could see how that happened. In Denver, let's not get it fucked up. Jokic was a monster. Jokic was he was dominant. They had no answer for him. They had nobody that can guard him. PG and Kawhi are both too small for him. He was dominant. And Jamal Murray was classic in the fourth quarter. He was like Dame Lillard. He was looking like Dame Lillard last year in the fourth quarter. So Denver was a great team. Denver damn near beat the Lakers too. AD had to hit a miracle shot, a 3-pointer, to win that game 4. They lose that game 4 and go back to Denver, 2-2. That's a different series. So, with the Clippers, this year, man, they started off, I think they were kind of like, they didn't plan for Luka. Luka came out, blitzed them, surprised them, shocked them, played extremely well. And with the lineups, if you look at it, it's not like Luka was out there killing everybody. Luka was getting a cross matchup like LeBron James does. Luka's not a great one-on-one player, just like LeBron James. He gets the switch on the pick and roll, and he was cooking Zubac. Zubac was on him the first 2 games, and Luka was cooking. He was eating. He wasn't out there working everybody. You see what I'm saying? So what they did was they made the adjustment, put Nick Batum at the 5. Batum is more Luka's speed. He could stick with him. So now you got 5 guys that whoever gets switched off on Luka is good defense. That's why Luka has not looked like that since. And Kawhi and PG has played excellent even in the losses, and they continue that excellent play. They playing like superstars. Kawhi Leonard looks like a top 2 scorer in the league right now because he's shooting 72%. He's shooting 72%. Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is lighting shit up right now. PG is looking like playoff P. No longer pandemic P right now. PG balling. So the fact that they're doing that, it's not surprising me. Dallas won't win another game in this series. Clippers are in control, barring injury. Clippers, with the Lakers looking like Clippers look like they will be making their first finals appearance this year on the backs of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George.
Clipper Nation. See, I believe the Clipper Nation has a little bit of Laker Nation in them a little bit. And what I mean by that is I'm just going off of my sorry ass team. My team we're supposed to be a lottery pick. Y'all struggling with the Dallas Mavericks. Let's think about that. Y'all struggling with the Dallas Mavericks. Y'all bet not lose today. If y'all lose today, you'll be down 3-2, going back to Dallas. And Luka's going to close that. So y'all better win today. Y'all better win the next 2 games. Because if it goes to 7, PG, I'm going to give my Charles Barkley. Maybe I want to just troll right now. Maybe I just want to troll. I'll give my Charles Barkley. PG ain't going to show up and you guys going to lose. Y'all struggling with the Dallas Mavericks right now. Don't play it off. Don't play it off, my Clipper fans. Don't play it off. You are in a 7-game series with the Dallas Mavericks. Y'all supposed to be favorites. Y'all are the favorites again because the Lakers got injured. Lakers, see, where the Lakers messed up is the play-in. See, if you didn't play in the play-in, maybe Anthony Davis wouldn't have got injured. Now y'all the favorites because Anthony Davis is injured, and the Lakers are struggling with the Phoenix, and y'all struggling with the Dallas Mavericks. That's all I'm saying. Y'all should be a little scared. A little bit.
But when you say that you can't really compare us because Luka is the leader of the new school. Luka is the leader of the new school. When you look at the new school players, you look at like a Trae Young that just bounced y'all out. You know what I'm saying?
We weren't supposed to be there.
Luka is, when you look at DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker, I would take Luka over all of these. Look, when you look at a Jason Tatum that just went home, when you look at all the young rising superstars, Luka is at the top of that list. So us battling with the next up and coming guy that's basically taking the league by storm. This is his coming out party. We putting the flames out, but this is Luka's coming out party as far as him solidifying himself as not just an all-star, but a superstar in this league. And I can respect it. You did your shit. You put Zubac in the blender, but we adjusted. We got Ty Lue that has that championship experience, and we went and we made our adjustments, and now they can't fuck with us, man. We back in control of the West. We're going to win tonight. We're going to close it out in Dallas. It's the whole time, regardless of how it went down, I had it Clippers in 6, and it's still going to be Clippers in 6. We're not going 7. You know what I'm saying?
I named in one podcast that we did. Don't sleep on them Utah Jazz.
Oh, hell no. We are not talking about the Utah Jazz.
Man.
Utah Jazz ain't about to do shit. Utah Jazz. I love Donovan Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? I love the team game, but it just never happened like that before, where a player that was your best player is 6'2" and you win a championship. Steph Curry did it in 2015. Isaiah Thomas did it in 1989 and 90. But other than that, a best player can't be 6'2". It's historically doesn't happen that way. So I'm not worried about the Utah Jazz.
That's real. When you look at Dame right now, he just scored like 57 and still lost. It's like, just point guards can't lead you to the promised land in this league, man. It just doesn't happen. Right. But we were talking about the Dallas Mavericks, but now we got to talk about Dallas native rapper Lil Loaded. Lil Loaded was his moniker. I guess 2 days ago, he passed away from an alleged suicide attempt. I guess he found out that his girlfriend had cheated on him with, I guess, somebody close to him or something of that nature. And because he was so hurt by her actions, he decided to commit suicide. But not only before he committed suicide, he took to Twitter and left a post basically leaving his suicide note on social media, talking about, "Oh Lord, I'm ready to come home to you. Forgive me for all my sins. I'm ready to enter into heaven's gates." So what are y'all thoughts about, this internet world, where people are feel comfortable enough or rely on the internet enough that they're taking their own lives over this stuff, and also they're posting suicide notes on Instagram and Facebook, because we all see those posts from people. We've all seen them where it's like, you know what, I'm so sad, I want to die, I can't live through this. And 9 times out of 10, we ignore those, those signs or those messages, and then you end up, the person doesn't actually follow through with it or nothing happens. So we typically play it off as somebody being dramatic. But in cases like this where people actually go through with it and take their lives, it's like somebody could have reached out. Somebody probably could have prevented this. But because we're so used to seeing this type of stuff on social media that, it's kind of like, the little boy who cried wolf. We just was like, whatever. What's your thoughts on this?
Man. My whole thing is, don't take none of that lightly. I mean, in the world that we're in nowadays, we'll work on our physical. We get our physical right. We work out. do what we can physically to make sure we cool physically. Even internally, with us fighting off COVID and all these other things like that, you take your vitamins and you do all that to make sure your body's right. But a lot of times, the world is going through a lot of it's a mental game. And when it comes to mentally, we don't have the endurance mentally. And sometimes you need that person to come through and give you some mental endurance. Take care of your mind just as much as you take care of your body. And I guess that would be my whole thing. Is sad the social media is now the new letter. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, I used to write love letters to my wife. Now you post it on the internet, so people, same thing as a piece of paper was back then for us. It's now social media, or back in the day, you used to have your little pager and you over here putting 143 or whatever the case may be. It's the internet now. So that's the new way of people doing it, but don't overlook it. When I give people motivation all the time, I get people to tell me stuff like, I don't know if I want to live or whatever the case may be. I don't take it lightly. Whoa. I ain't a therapist or anything like that. But really, check up on your people. The people around them. Were you really checking up on them? Or were you like, oh man, it's just a boy, you get it's your boy and you not really checking up on them? Like, yo, you cool? Yeah, this is what happens. Breakups can cause people to do something like that. So don't take it lightly when somebody breaks up with a woman and they just like, oh, I'm cool. And on the other side, don't be afraid to voice how you feel. Vulnerability is key to peace. And it's just sad because a lot of us as men, it's hard to get 3 men like we have 3 black men on here talking. You need somebody, you need an outlet, a real outlet. So if you don't got an outlet, hit your boy up. I got you. But yeah, mental health is important. And this is a case of somebody's mental health not being taken care of.
Yeah, it's a sad story. First of all, I want to say that first and foremost, just hearing a lot of these young rappers that's dying is sad, man. In this case, it's suicide, possible suicide, alleged suicide. Like my man y'all was saying, man, mental health and things that are people going through. You gotta stop making it a joke or making fun of it or ignoring it for that matter, because although we do live in the capping era, there's a lot of capping going on with everything, a lot of attention grabbing. They say most people that have a suicide note or talk about committing suicide ain't really about that. They're just trying to get attention. But attention, let's give it some attention when you see that, because you don't want nobody to go out like that. Obviously, you can't control what other people do. Obviously, you can't sit around people all the time. But I think we should take it more serious. And like y'all said, try to stop stuff like this from happening, because a suicide, a young rapper committing suicide, not getting shot by somebody, not gang banging, not anything like that, but you took your own life allegedly. We can't have that happening to us. So yeah, we definitely gotta be more cautious and be considerate of other people and not a game or a joke.
Yeah, man, that's real. When you talk mental health, I had a panic attack a couple months ago. It was about 3 years ago. And I had my stress levels had reached so high that I literally had gotten an altercation at my job, left because I was so heated. Got home and ended up being locked out of the house, because I came home and my girl had took me and she had my keys and I didn't have keys. And just that little thing just sent me over the edge, and I felt like I had a heart attack. And then when I went to the doctor, and they hooked me up to an EKG machine, in my head, I feel like my heart is jumping out my chest, like I can't breathe. Like I feel like I could hear my heartbeat in my head. And then they hooked me up to the EKG machine, and my heart is beating as regular as can be. But in my mind, it's like racing. Like I can't get it. I can't calm down. But the machine is reading that my heart rate is perfectly normal, and that's when I realized, like, I've had struggles with mental health before, but that was when I really realized, like, this shit is real. Like, when niggas say your mind is playing tricks on you, like, it's really real. Because my heart felt like it was finna jump out my chest. So as black men, we do definitely have to take our mental health more serious, because that's something that, you know, we're just taught to be strong and to take shit on the chin and move on. And a lot of times we never really have the opportunity to sit back and internalize the things that's happening to us. So much shit happens to us at one time that we don't have time to even deal with the shit that happened 2 days ago, because I'm trying to foresee the shit that's going to happen tomorrow. And, you know, and that's the state of black men in America. And that's why our mental health is neglected, because we really don't have the time, space, or opportunity to really deal with it the way that it should be dealt with. Now, everybody want to be back outside, man. Memorial Day weekend was one for the books. I seen people in Vegas, Miami, New York, Atlanta. Everybody was going crazy. But when you got a bunch of black people outside, you know what that comes with, man. So Miami, there was multiple shootings this weekend in Miami. Felt like it was every party that anybody was at in Miami got shut up this past weekend. And now the rapper DaBaby was questioned and released and linked to a shooting of 2 men, I think by the Prime Steakhouse in Miami. So this nigga's already beat a murder charge. I guess he was coming out of Walmart and the dude tried to rob him for his chain and he murdered the dude, which was justified. It was self-defense. So he beat that. But he actually is a known gunner and has been involved in this type of activity. And then he had the old incidents where he beat the dude up on live in the mall. And everybody gave him praise and all that. But then he had the next incident where he was shown beating up and robbing a party promoter because they didn't pay him his money after a show. And he didn't strip the dude down. Now, this is all alleged because he hasn't been convicted for this. But and they have a video out showing him robbing a promoter. Now he's being questioned in these shootings. Like, this man is on the top of the game and he cannot stay out of trouble. And with like YF and Lucci going down, and who else went down on the RICO? They had a few New York rappers go down on the RICO. But the hip hop police have been cracking down on these rappers ever since Tekashi 6ix9ine. But really ever since Bobby Smurder and GS9 and them, they've really been cracking down on these rappers going everywhere and terrorizing shit. So what's your thoughts on the rapper being involved in another shooting, allegedly?
Oh man. What you talking about, everything that he's did, it for some reason what popped in my head, and hopefully he takes to it, is O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson, you know, he beats his charge, and all of a sudden O.J. going back to jail for stealing his own stuff back. They're looking for reasons to put you in the jail cell. Stop giving them reasons. But also at the same time, just because you give somebody money, that doesn't mean that changes the mentality. So he's going to keep doing what he's doing until he changes his mentality. And on the flip side, with how he's operating, people are going to test him. People are always going to test him. See how gangster you really are. So it's a double-edged. I mean, he got to protect himself one way, but, you know, you can take the person out of the street sometimes, but you can't take the street out of the person. And that's kind of sort of the classic case. Hope my boy, like, you know, gets real people around him to help him change that mentality, because you don't got to do that. Maybe you can have somebody else do that for you. You know, like I think about like Nas. You ain't hearing stuff like that with Nas. You know, he had people around him who probably did that for him. So maybe you got to get some people around you that would do that for you. But, you know, it's like 50 Cent. 50 Cent ain't going around no more doing that. He got people that would do it for him.
Yeah, that's true, man. In this era, though, you got to be the gangster. That's what happened to King Von. That's why King Von perished, man. It's like, it's different because when you actually a street nigga and you from the streets, you got a lifetime of muscle memory.
Exactly.
And in the streets, they call this TTG, train to go. Meaning your instincts are for you to, you know what I'm saying, blast on a nigga, for you to take it to that level. So even though you got money, because you, once again, back to mental health, because you haven't been working on your mental health and your mental stability, when you react the same way that you've always reacted. And when you got people that's been with you from childhood, guess what? They ain't working on their mentality neither. And this is why Jay-Z had to separate himself from that whole Rockefeller camp. Is because, you know what? If I would have stayed with Dame Dash and State Property and all these niggas, I would not be a billionaire. I wouldn't have Rock Nation. I wouldn't have Rihanna and Beyonce and Kanye and J. Cole and all these artists. I wouldn't have none of this shit because I was unwilling to shed who I was so that I could become who I want to be. And so people are so stuck on this social media persona that, nigga, like, you know, I don't need you to be no gangster. Like, I need niggas to be men. You know, like you guys did that Lions Den the other week, you know, and you guys were talking about, you know, how to rearrange the word real nigga and how we redefine that. And I think that we got to stop associating real nigga shit with ignorant shit, because that's the connotation that's connected to it. Every time a nigga do some stupid shit, they get him locked up, or he took another black man's life. Oh, that's some real nigga shit. But that same nigga that squeezed that trigger got 3 kids at home, and you don't even know their damn middle name, and they didn't have 8 birthdays, and you've been around for 2, and you don't even know how fucking old they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta change what a real nigga is in this society, because especially with all this fraud shit and all this money that's been going around, and now everybody back outside, everybody think that they're a rapper. Everybody thinks that they're a rapper, whether they're rapping or not. And every crew seems, especially every black crew, seems to have some rapper in the crew. So even though you ain't rapping, there's somebody in your crew that's raps. So then you'd be like, yeah, BTG crew, nigga, we doing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, it's following.
Like you going around and seeing like the phrase, like you going around seeing whose dick's bigger.
Exactly.
Like oh, my dick's bigger than yours, I'm gonna shoot you. Like, nah.
But then it's always the most like brokest niggas that want to shoot niggas. Like, bro, you don't got no purpose on this earth. You don't got no drive to do anything. Your whole state of being is to be the hardest nigga that you possibly can be, which means being the most ignorant, dumbest motherfucker that you can possibly be. And this is what a lot of niggas are using their time on this earth for, to live their life being the most dumbest, ignorant motherfucker that they can possibly be while they're here. And then they die at 33, and then they go to jail at 22, and niggas are screaming, free the homie, or, you know what I'm saying, rest in peace to the homie.
Same cycle.
But that nigga chose to do nothing with his existence. You know, one of my favorite movies is Troy. And at the beginning of the movie, you know, it's a little boy that goes to get Achilles to fight this dude. And it's this big ass buff Goldberg looking dude. And when the boy gets Achilles, he's like, man, when he go tell him that he got a fade, Achilles jump up. He don't even ask nothing. He don't ask no information. He just grab his shield and his sword and get ready for the fade. And as he getting on the horse, the boy like, don't you want to know about your opponent? And Achilles just look at him and don't say nothing. And the boy like, man, this is the biggest man I ever seen before. I wouldn't want to fight him. And Achilles looks down at him as he takes off, and he looks and says, that's why no one will remember your name. And that's some real shit. Like, y'all niggas is so temporary. Y'all dough is getting temporary. Everything y'all do in this lifetime is temporary. And we are eternal spiritual beings. And what we do on this earth should echo for eternity. So y'all niggas is living it backwards, man. Y'all really slacking. We can't get through to our people, man. Our people shall perish for the lack of knowledge.
And then they ended up, and then they dumbass like takes out somebody that's doing something for their community. Nipsey Hussle, taken out by some dumbass, you know, when he's making a difference. You over here wanting to go rob somebody, you rob them, robbery go wrong. Now you shoot that person. Now, so now you killed another black person. Let's say you kill another black person. How you said it too. How you know that person don't got kids and a wife at home? Just because of something. Or even sometimes, as I think about, like, when, like, is it worth shooting somebody if they step on your shoes? Is it worth something like that? Now I get it. I need that respect. You know, sometimes just let it go. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I ain't gonna let you punk me, but some things ain't worth it. It's not about who got the biggest dick.
For real. So this weekend in Miami-Dade County, this is just in Miami-Dade County. There were 2 mass shootings, 4 people were killed, and more than 30 were injured. They showed one shooting where a concert was getting out, and dudes pulled up in a van, jumped out with ski masks, and sprayed the crowd as they came out. Just sprayed the whole crowd as they came out. So this shit is like literally like the Wild Wild West, but it's all through America now. It's like, man, niggas is back outside, and we see what that equates to. The most mass shootings and probably in American history so far. Here goes another, 5-6 mass shootings this weekend added to Joe Biden's total this year. But we don't see, did you see this, nigga? The weekend's over. It's Wednesday. Did you see him on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday come out and say anything about what happened over this weekend? Not a fucking word. Every weekend it seems like it's a mass shooting under this president, and nothing is being said by him. He doesn't even address it. And I think he doesn't address it because a lot of them have been by or including black people. If it was all these mass shootings where white people were being assaulted, guarantee he would be out here pulling out the National Guard. And they writing crimes for Asian hate. Now they doing I guess it was a Jewish guy that was assaulted somewhere. I was just reading. And they called out the National Guard to protect the Jewish people in the community. But There was a whole fucking protest, peaceful protest that we were doing, and the National Guard was brought out to detain us and to end our protests and rioting. But then they're here to protect the Jewish people and the Asian people and the transgender people. Everybody but us, man. This shit's stupid as hell. You know, so, but at the same time, like you said, yeah, I'm gonna go into your book. We gotta give ourselves a fighter's chance. And black people, we are not giving ourselves a fighter's chance when every time we fucking step out the house, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is why I don't go out, because you gotta go out with your gun. You have to go out with your gun. And the fact that I gotta go out with my gun make me not go out. Because it's like, if I gotta be in that mentality or that energy, I don't even want to be there in the first place.
Exactly. It's like how you said, bro. You brought up our new president, and nobody's keeping. Well, I can't say nobody. We are. There's some people out there. A majority of people aren't keeping that same energy. You're not keeping that same energy. This dude is having mass shootings after mass shootings after mass shootings, and this dude ain't even saying nothing. And Miss Vice President, I seen the tweet from her. All she said this whole week is, enjoy your long weekend. What? Okay, cool. Like, all right, cool. And to add on to that, I think it was yesterday, there was a shooting at a fire station. Dude walks into his old job or his job, goes in, shoots his co-worker, shoots another fire person, kills that person, puts the other person in critical condition, then drives his butt back home to what is it, Dose or whatever, drives himself back home to his house, burns his house down, shoots himself in his pool, and another mass shooting. It's not it still counts, you know. That still goes under your card, Biden. Like, you got all these shootings and you ain't doing nothing. Let's keep the same energy, because if this was the other guy, Trump, we going, well, look at when Trump's in office, he's making everybody racist, even though everybody was already racist. He's got all these mass shootings under his belt. He's just bad. He's just a bad president. So what is Biden at this point? Because he got mass shootings after mass shootings.
That's real.
Well, really, it's really getting frustrating seeing this. You know, I'm not one to come on here and attack black people, but at the same time, it's frustrating seeing this, man. It's all stemming from. It's deep. It's deep, man. It's not as simple as we got to stop doing this and we got to stop doing that, because as we were talking off air, when people are used to a certain lifestyle where people are taught to go when it's time to go, they going. And when you're raised around a certain thing, or if you're raised in a hood in these fucked up neighborhoods and you grow up around conditions where you feel like you got to defend yourself even in your sleep, where you sleeping with the bat under the bed, the burner on the dresser. When you sleeping like that, when you living in conditions like that, it's hard to tell people to grow up and say, well, you got to stop doing this or you got to stop doing that. So it's not that simple, man. We were ruined. We have to go back to the people that ruined us. And those are the people that created this, that pushed us to the ghettos, that stopped us from buying homes and wouldn't let us buy homes and push us to the poor neighborhoods and in the projects, that wouldn't allow us to do that, that took away opportunities, that wasn't equal opportunities available for certain people. So yes, and then they poured the crack on us in the 80s. The crack epidemic started and ruined so many black homes. Everybody from my generation got either a crackheaded uncle or a crackheaded auntie or both. And you saw what that shit did. They have a bunch of kids running around doing nothing because their crackheads and parents is high. And that's the generation. That's how it started. And that's how we've been since then. So yes, we're damaged as black people. It ain't gonna happen where we just gonna have this come to Jesus moment and everybody gonna put down their guns and all these sets gonna stop beefing and people gonna stop acting stupid. That's not the issue. That's gonna continue to happen. What needs to happen, it has to be fixed from the inside out. It has to be fixed from the top to the bottom. As long as we live in this capitalistic, racist, unfair ass country, that type of shit at the bottom will never be fixed because they don't give a fuck to fix it. You can go to a rich city and see how much work they put in on the city, such as Beverly Hills. Go to Beverly Hills. Every time I go out there, I just feel like everybody's looking at me. Everybody's staring at me because I'm a nigga in Beverly Hills. It's like, look at how much money they put into that city. But guess what? A couple of blocks down the road, or a couple of maybe 15 minutes down the road, you go to another neighborhood, and it's like, damn, do y'all put any money into this fucking city? So it's really sad and unfortunate about the shootings, but I'm not going to go the route of you know, black people. I think it's more of the top. Like y'all said, Biden ain't done shit. He ain't said shit because he don't give a fuck, you know, just like the rest of them. He's not going to say anything because he doesn't give a fuck. Black people, y'all think that he give a fuck so much. Stop thinking that because it's not true. He does not give a flying fuck about us. Never. And none of them really do. So, you know, I think it ain't no simple answer. I think it has to be fixed from the outside in. And as long as we in this country the way it is, it'll never be fixed, unfortunately.
Facts. At the end of the day, we gotta remember they put the 14th Amendment in after the fact. So it wasn't like they were thinking about us beforehand. They put it in after the fact.
But they blaming it on hip hop, the culture. And that's always the white man's scapegoat is hip hop, the culture of hip hop. So they're not saying it's the systematic racism that put us in these positions that cause us to be in survival mode, that even put us in this. They say, oh, well, the culture of hip hop and gangs, and the coincide, they're one and the same. So they blame it directly on hip hop culture instead of realizing that hip hop culture is the only alternative to the lifestyle that you were forced upon. So the only alternative to the type of shit that we're enduring, which is these shootings, and because 90% of the black people that were at these parties, guarantee you they were not gangsters. They were professionals. They were on vacation. They were going back to their regular lives, their parents. They're just there. So when you try to group all black people in as far as this gangster shit and this gangster lifestyle, 95% of us don't participate in that, are not involved in the funk whatsoever. But because we're there, it makes it look like, oh, well, every time it's a mass gathering of black people, this happens. But then knowing this, what do black people do? We all take our guns because we know the previous history. So then what happens the first time something happens, or then we now pull out our guns because we feel threatened. So now a lot of times at these parties, we're fucking a victim of the portrayal of how we're being portrayed in the media. I brought this gun not because of my personal experiences, but because my whole life they told me that if I'm a black person at a black club with a bunch of black people, then I better have a gun, because that's what, you know, the mainstream media, you know, pushes, and that's the narrative that they all paint, man. So, you know what I'm saying?
I want to
say, oh, hip hop is bad. Hip hop is bad for you. Don't let your kids listen to hip hop. But then it's all confusion because they say hip hop is bad for you. Ronnie, hip hop is bad for you. Kalum, hip hop is bad for you. But guess what? The greatest one of the top 5 rappers of all times, you gotta give it to Eminem. You gotta give it to Eminem. Give it to the white guy. Give it to the white guy. Give us Eminem, which is hip hop.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. But they overlooked that. And even on a deeper note, since if they want to blame it on hip hop, who controls hip hop? The white man. All the record labels, the major labels, not the little. You see 50 got his own label. Jay had Rockefeller. All them labels were signed under a major label, like Universal, like Priority. That's all white people own. And guess what? The radio stations, they control that. So they control the narrative. They control what's put out. They made gangster rap hot. They didn't have to make Snoop and Dre and them hot. They made that shit hot. They control what's played on the radio. As far as, you know what I'm saying, what we hear and what's portrayed out there, they don't play the positive stuff. You got rappers like Talib Kweli, who grew up in that era, who the average kid don't know who the fuck he is. But he was a damn lyricist and had real music where they didn't push that type of shit. They didn't push Common Sense, who turned to Common. They didn't push rappers like that. So trolls hip hop. They want the bullshit. They put out you hear what's on the radio now. They play nothing but garbage. And they have that control. They control that shit. The white man has controlled hip hop culture and use us as puppets on a string. They put out that they choose to show the gangster shit. They choose to show the other shit. A rapper like J. Cole is one of the best rappers in history, and he's not going to be recognized with the candy coated rappers that's rapping right now. The real motherfuckers that listen to music, they was hyped when that J. Cole album came out. But the average kid from 18 to 27, they ain't paying attention to J. Cole because that's not what's put out there. So again, it's the white man. The white man is control of all of this. So they can't blame it. If they want to blame it on the hip hop culture, they're blaming it on themselves.
Fact.
All right, man. Well, before we get up out of here, man, let's get these shout outs out one time. I'm getting it in. The Lakers, sorry. Let's get to this Clipper game. I got to see the second half. So get these weak ass Dallas Mavericks up out of here. But let's get these shout outs.
Oh, man. Okay. Shout out to Brand of Encouragement. Shout out to Man Things, Politician. Shout out to Higher Learning. Shout out to Focused on the Future, Running Wild. Shout out to anybody that is doing something positive in their community. Shout out to y'all and everything like that. Shout out to my boy D Rose. Rest easy, my man. Wait till next season. Somebody gonna be trying to pick you up because you did your thing, boy. I see you. Never gave up on you. Okay, so on the last note and everything like that, my wife was like, I got a new nickname for you. I was like, oh yeah, girl, what's my new nickname? She was like, I'm gonna call you Mike 3. I was like, Mike 3? My name is Yajaketa, girl. Why you gonna give me the name Mike? She was like, well, because when you beating it up, you remind me of Michael Jordan when he was playing the Utah Jazz and when he hit that shot, he beat the shot clock. I was like, okay, so that's one beat it. Okay, I got it. And then she was like, then you remind me of Iron Mike because every time you beating it up, you knocking it out. So you beating it. I was like, yeah, you're right. I was like, but why you calling it 3 mics? That's only 2 mics. She was like, Michael Jackson, Billie Jean, and she had the song Beat It. I was like, oh, okay. So that's why I'm called the 3 mics.
Beat it. Hey man, leave it to y'all. He's always gonna keep us entertained with that. He make a motherfucker want to get married. God damn. Shout out to Brand of Encouragement. Focus on the future. I see you out there doing the basketball thing with the kids and the adults. Shout out to the Politikan Forum and everybody on the team. Y'all know who y'all are. Shout out to the Higher Learning Team, Higher Nation Society. Tez, I see you, man. We ain't talked in a minute, but we gonna link up. Shout out to the people that's been fucking with us since the beginning. Like Kalum said, we got some things working up here in Riverside Studios. Keep y'all entertained. Live events. Things to come. Podcasting working. So just stay tuned.
Yeah, man, it's been a rough one for the last couple of weeks. We have been completely swamped as a team. We are fucking. One thing that Nipsey Hussle said is, man, when you taking strides to get to where you want to be, it's supposed to feel like a burden. It's supposed to feel like it's too much, because that's how you know you're on the right path. So, you know what I'm saying? So we really just trying to sit back as a team, you know, formulate our plan, come together, you know, work more cohesively. But we got to celebrate our victories, man. So, Politik and Broadcasting, I started this a little over 3.5 years ago. This is my third location. We've got festivals and all type of shit in the works. When they say, you know, put your mind to it and do it, it's really that simple, man. You know, make a plan, stick to it, and don't waver from it, man. And you'll get everything that you want in this life, man. I don't know what you're going to do with your life, and I'm going to get to it, man. Politikan the Podcast. We out here.